Good morning, 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 class. Welcome back to your classroom, our classroom. Good morning. It's Monday, July 20th, 2026. You're locked into Morning Sip with your class teacher, your host, Lady Nikki Phoenix. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Monday Sip. Getting here, we're going to get started. We have our guest joining at 7:15. We're looking forward to an exceptional discussion, touching on some key topics. So the agenda is hot, as always, like your sip. So ensure you have your sip, tag your classmates, get in the classroom. Class is in a session. In a session. Are you ready?
Ever striving, ever seeking, well in love and unity, each endeavoring, all achieving, heal our land. You graced us with land, sea and beauty. Oh, you fed us from our birth by providing for your children. Oh, from generation to generation, we will lift up our prayer for Antigua, for Barbuda. Lord, we pray for Antigua in the name of Jesus. Lord, we pray for our nation. Please heal our land. Please heal our land. You stood beside us in the midnight hour. Your strong arms held us all together. Now we bless you in Jesus' name, and we pray for you in Jesus' name, the name above every other name.
Proverbs chapter 9. Wisdom had builded her house. She had hewn out her 7 pillars. She had killed her beasts, and she had mingled her wine. She had also furnished her table. She had sent forth her maidens. She cried upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instructions to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. A foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple, and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the highest places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, she says, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that all her guests are in the depths of hell.
Heal our land.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sippers, good morning. It's Monday, July 20th, 2026. If you're seeing me on your screen, you're in the land of the living. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning to all the classmates. It's edumacation time. It's Monday. You saw the flyer. If you didn't see the flyer, our topic today is that's the alarm. But our topic for today, you see, the alarm is like, listen, we're not playing with the sip. Yeah, we're starting at 12 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock Caribbean time. So it's like, our guest, Kenneth Rejak, is already on the platform. He's in the studio. I'm waiting for Dave Ray. If you have not seen the flyer, you do not leave this classroom. We are here, and I am looking forward to this morning's discussion. I'm looking forward to your engagement. I've been reading everybody's comments on social media on various angles of this discussion. I found the 6-page memorandum myself, the Third World Memorandum document. I've been through the document. I want us to talk about it for this entire week. This is what we're going to be talking about. Every Monday and Wednesday, our SIP should be what we've always had it to be and aiming to be, which is edumacation. We do a little bit of fun, we do a little bit of our thing, but it's time for us to really elevate the discussion in the classroom, because from my guest is here and I need to pray and get the program started. But I'm saying this because one of the reasons why I sincerely eased back with regards to the news in Antigua and Barbuda and bringing the education and talking and sharing on the platform is only those who want to learn will learn. Only those who want to see will see. Only those who want to wake up will wake up. And we are here in July 2026, and there was an election, a snap election that occurred on the 30th of April. And individuals in Antigua and Barbuda had the finger to change the direction, like change the course to some extent, shake the ground a little bit, do some kind of shifting and sifting for things to shake, to show, but you didn't. So whatever you showed just showed that you're happy and comfortable in which the direction that the ship is going. Captain, the ship is sinking. What shall we do? Shall we jump aboard, or shall we stay and we all sink? We've been asking that question. So I eased after the news. I watching everybody and it's like, listen, no, we're gonna just like take it our way as we usually do. And our way in this new season of our sipping class education, our new way is we're not going to really focus on playing a lot of Prime Minister Gaston Brown's audio and his videos and constantly, speak about Prime Minister Gaston Brown. No. The third right foot honorable has gotten enough attention. He's gotten world attention that yeah, here we're, look at us. Yeah. Add us to the list right next to Haiti. That's where we are. Yeah. Good morning. Have a sip on that. Let's be real. So Dave is supposed to be here. I sent him the link and I called Dave yesterday and I expect him to be on the platform. I expect him to show up. I expect him to come here and for us to have a healthy discussion and for us to discuss seriously what's going on in Antigua and Barbuda and what affects the entire world, what's happening in the entire world with regards to immigrants and how people see us, from the time they just see the look on our skin, the look on our faces and our skin. There's an issue, there's an issue. Let's be real about that. There's an issue. So I want to talk about that because I want to ask Kenneth some questions regarding the document that Senator Mace, I think her name is Senator, I need to pull it up properly, but she made this document. She's proposing this bill, but there are many questions in the bill that is unanswered. Like you just name a country and there's not any valid points to show why this country is placed or being banned. So I look forward to us having those discussions. If your classmate is not next to you, tag a few people. Good morning, James. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning, everybody. Chrome, good morning. Somebody tag Clyde, I think his name, Wire, and a few other people and let them know that we're here. Somebody tag Dave and let him know the program has started. So let's offer a word of prayer. And our scripture today is Psalms 23. And everybody should know Psalms 23. Like you should be sleeping and knowing Psalms 23. And if you don't know Psalms 23, we're going to say it together. Yeah. The Lord is my shepherd. The Most High God is my shepherd. I shall not want. When you say the I, make it personal, call your name, understand these words, because word or the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So words bring life or it can bring death. So the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me beside the still waters for his name's sake. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art is with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely, 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 goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever and ever and forever. Amen. That's Psalms 23. And we need to, know your Psalms, because Psalms is David. All the Psalms was written by David, because David is a man after God's own heart. David has accomplished so much, did so many things. There's such a lineage with him. We'll talk about that. But our guest is here this morning. And I'm going to check the time. In about a couple of minutes, I can get him on. I want to say good morning to Stancha Cornelius, our girl in Antigua, Barbuda. She's having 5 days of awesome. She's been having 5 days of awesome since about 2015. The vision to do these different events. I want to give her an opportunity to give a little ad. And also there's Thalia Parker. So Thalia Parker has an event. I got to check the ad because I was supposed to play it since Wednesday, and I got to check to see if it has passed. Maybe it was yesterday. I'm not sure, but I still want to give the recognition on the platform. Good morning, everybody. And your scripture for this week is what? Psalms 23. And if you don't know Psalms 23, go learn Psalms 23. That's homework. Learn Psalms 23. That's homework. Yes. Write it down. Come with a notebook. Come with your cup of coffee or your tea, your bush tea, yeah, and a pen. You got to write. Write the vision, make it plain. You're going to remember when you write things down. Trust me. Not cost me. I had to say that one. Okay. So have a little laugh and listen to Thalia's ad and also Stanch's ad. And that's going to give us the time that's going to have us jump in to start talking to Kenneth. And if, what's his name? Our friend, if Dave, our guest, is not in at the time, we'll continue our discussion. Yes? Lovely.
Can you taste creativity while making memories that last? Join us at the Palette Room, your therapeutic escape where frosting becomes self-care. Step into the studio, receive your artist tools, and let the stress melt away. Transform an ordinary cake into your own edible masterpiece. No experience needed, just warmth, laughter, and the courage to begin. Sunday, July 19th. 4 to 6 p.m. at the Glanville's Community Center. Dress elegantly casual in pink or blue. The Palette Room. Call or WhatsApp 774-5472 or 775-8785. Join our waitlist.
Years ago, Soarwise Music International was established to create platforms. Soarwise Radio, Soarwise TV, The Reading Public magazine, now international multi-award winning. To impact the culture, we curated the Antigua Barbuda Global Music and Media Awards, now a 4-day festival gala in its 11th year. And in this chapter, we're bringing you the awesome experience. July 31st, it's Word on Fire with August 1st, Awesome Day Power Experience. August 2nd, Music, Inspiration and Culture. August 3rd, Praise Out Loud. August 4th, our grand finale, Favor Fest. And guess what? Admission for children 12 and under is free. Now the rest of us, we're gonna grab our tickets right now from soularisemusic.com or via Ticket Pulse events, because you don't wanna miss this at all. This is awesome. An event for the entire family. We are catering to the total you, mind, body, and spirit. And you will not be disappointed. You're gonna hear accurate prophetic release. Oh yeah, you're gonna get fit with praise exercise.
So it's really long and we're going to continue the ad, but I want you to know soulriseinternational.com is where you can get your tickets or Ticket Pulse, 5 days of awesome, Antigua, Barbuda. My girl, Apostle Prophet Stancha Cornelius, she's a member of the classroom, so it's your class teacher. So you need to support. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, the things sort out. You can get you there, get in Antigua and Barbuda. Even if Kenneth want to go, it's sorted out, class. So if somebody's not sitting next to you in the classroom, let them know we're going to do a roll call this morning. And you say, Present Teacher Nikki, I am here. And then we're going to mark who's absent and who is not. But welcome back to the classroom, where every conversation is an opportunity for us to grow. So class, today we're not simply discussing whether America trusts Antigua and Barbuda. We're asking a much larger question. How is trust between nations measured? Is trust measured by the passport we issue? By the people to whom we grant citizenship? By the information we share? By the deportees we agree to receive? By the ships and Alphanero, yes, we register and by the sanctions and by the laws we pass? Or by how useful we are to a powerful country at a particular moment? Because while the United States Congresswoman is proposing legislation that would prohibit certain Antiguans and Barbudan nationals from entering America, the United States Department of State is simultaneously working with Antigua and Barbuda on international maritime security and sanctions enforcement. The European Union is placing pressure on the Eastern Caribbean nations to phase out citizenship, the CIP, citizenship by investment programs, while the OECS leaders say those programs remain essential to the survival and development of their economies. They may appear to be separate stories and separate issues. And when I invited Kenneth, I wanted to speak about what the bill was proposing, and then I came across the article and the involvement of Prime Minister Gaston Brown with another arm of the United States, where they're talking about security and they're talking about partnership. So today we are going to ask whether they're actually separate, because I'm curious to know, and whether they are different pieces of the same international conversation about trust, power, access, and sovereignty. So I opened the document, it's about 6 pages, and I went through it. And there are a number of questions in there regarding how the document was prepared. And with the stipulations on the countries, it just said country. As an investigative journalist, there was not any data pointing to say, well, this country is on this list because of this issue, and these are our findings, or this country is on this list because of the findings. These things was not evident. It is not evident in the document. So we have Mr. Kenneth Rijak this morning, and it's always a pleasure and an honor to have him join when we come and have our classroom discussions, especially on international affairs. So Kenneth, good morning. Welcome to our SIP.
Thank you, and good morning, Nikki.
How you been?
I'm great, thank you. And yourself?
Not too bad.
All right.
What do you think about my question? How is it that they're putting a ban on this end or this arm of the government in the United States or the Senate, and on the other arm they're working with Prime Minister Gaston Brown, engaging, talking about security, etc.
Well, remember that there are 39 countries on this list. Antigua and Dominica are not being singled out. Any country which, in the view of the U.S. State Department, has issues either with CIP or with visa and immigration or national security threats is on that list. So it's very hard for us to spin off the Caribbean countries. And of course, as you know, only Antigua, Dominica, and Haiti are on the list that Representative Nancy Mace has shown to be countries in which she wants this new law passed, which will basically shut the door and will say only in extraordinary circumstances can Antiguans come to the United States because we deem it to be a national security risk. And as you know, it all goes back to CIP. CIP is the one that makes the difference. You won't see any of these other Caribbean countries on that list. And the countries which are not CBI or CIP, those countries are, frankly, not being considered. Makes you wonder why.
Is that on my end or your end?
No, that's on my end. Let me shut it down. That's a puppy squeaking a toy. Stand by.
For a minute, I was like, okay, where's that sound coming from? Is that me on my end? Because we know that it's vacation and Munch is home. So that's your little one.
I'm going back.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Janice. Whoever is not in the classroom and next to you, have a call, have a tag the person.
Whoa.
So I want to jump on what you said there because, I mean, I have an Antiguan passport. I'm a born Guyanese. I have an Antiguan passport. 2 older sons. Antigua is what I know. Antigua is life. News, everything that I cover is Antigua. And as I pull myself back even more from the news and look at what Senator Mace is proposing, she places Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, and Haiti on a list that she still has not provided any kind of verifiable evidence. We say CIP. I hear you saying CIP. But what verifiable evidence that she can provide or has provided, which I haven't seen any, that connects Antigua and Barbuda to the level of risk that is contemplated in this proposed legislation?
Well, the problem is this, that all she's doing is she's tracking what our State Department and our president said back in December 15th, that they were considering the CIP programs of Antigua and Dominica as being a threat to national security.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to see, even in yourself, when did you get a chance to read the document? Did you read the article, the 6-page document?
I've even read the proposed legislation. The point is this, that your Antiguans have to accept as true the fact that CIP now faces an existential threat. That CIP, whether it's the United States or the European Union or the United Kingdom, has got to go if people want to have normal visa relationships. Remember, the EU says if you don't get rid of CIP, you're going to lose visa-free entry. And let's face it, that's the one reason that somebody buys an Antiguan passport and spends 6 figures, because they get visa-free entry into the European Union. If that's gone, then somebody's going to go to a passport from Vanuatu or some other place around the world. They're going to leave the Caribbean cold and dry. So you have to understand that while people in Antigua are upset and irate and are saying, well, where's the evidence why we weren't singled out? Well, the evidence has been around for years. It's just that this administration is not going to put up with the issues that the prior administrations did, and that is to allow CIP to cause individuals from high-risk countries to basically get a passport and allow them to come into the European Union and to stop at an American consulate somewhere and get a visa to come into the United States. It's basically a national security issue. So while I can understand Antiguans are agitated and aggravated about it. They only have themselves to blame because for years they have allowed a fatally flawed program to operate. Why is it fatally flawed? Because when you have a program where people are approved by the government which stands to benefit financially, then people who shouldn't get the passport because they are dangerous, criminal, high risk, or come from a terrorist country. If those people are allowed to get the passports, then the passport itself becomes an instrument of crime.
So that's going to lead me to two other questions that I have. What
Go
number
ahead.
what number of documented Antiguan CIP cases would you rely upon, or is the US relying upon to justify restrictions affecting the wider nationality?
The thing is that it's not based on a percentage, it's based upon the quality, not the quantity of violators. And it's not just the violators who are a problem for the United States, it's the people who have Antiguan CIP passports who use them to enter the United Kingdom to launder money, to get involved with terrorist financing, or who have been involved in the European Union. So it's not, well, it's not good if it's 1 out of 100. The problem is that any decent number of individuals is enough to sour the entire story and the entire program. I wish we could say, well, if under 3% are bad actors, we shouldn't do it. But in truth and in fact, if just one person laundering $100 million passes through this city in the United Kingdom, that's enough for the United States. That's
So
the problem.
the second question is, can you distinguish among four separate allegations: weak regulations, inadequate enforcement, deliberate corruption, and inherently, they said the program is dangerous. They just said the program CIP running in Antigua Barbuda is dangerous. So can you distinguish the separate allegations?
Well, the thing is that the corruption on its own, frankly, is the deal breaker because the fact that individuals have been known to pay cash under the table to get passports is enough to.
Is there any kind of evidence for that?
Well, yes, and individuals who have been arrested in the future have themselves been forced to admit that they got their passports by the payment of cash. And let's forget the 800-pound elephant, which nobody wants to talk about, and that is diplomatic passports, which violate the UN regulations. Remember, to get a diplomatic passport, you shouldn't be able to pay a couple $100,000 US cash in Antigua. You must be a really certified diplomat and handle actually a diplomatic role. Frankly, although he probably will object to it, the next person coming on here, Mr. Dave Ray, has a diplomatic passport. He doesn't have an education. He's not a professionally trained diplomat. He actually isn't assigned to any specific role other than being an ambassador at large for the diaspora. Where's his diplomatic post? He doesn't have one. So people with the diplomatic passport have been known to buy CIP and diplomatic passports and use them to evade customs and immigration while they're carrying illegal financial instruments, cash, diamonds, all sorts of other prohibited articles which facilitate not just money laundering, but terrorist financing. And remember, the United States since 9/11 has been steadfastly against any form of terrorist financing. With a diplomatic passport, you can accomplish that. So while I understand the four different provisions which you're referring to, each one of them in and of itself, if it's strong enough, is going to be enough to cause the U.S. State Department to say, no more. And remember, so far it's only the State Department which is prohibiting Antiguans from coming in. If that law is passed, it will be a statutory prohibition, and nobody will be in any position to object to it, and there'll be precious few exceptions.
Okay. Just give me a minute. I see Dave is sending me a message saying that there's no link. Let me just give him a call quickly. I'm just gonna play a quick continuous stand, just quick ad for 1 second because I want him
Yes,
to know
ma'am.
to add on here.
Hard and equipped from a GoFootball Summit. Oh, you are truly gonna be blessed and informed at our Music Inspiration and Culture Night because we got an international media mogul, Dr. Franklin Morris, in the house. Oh yes, it's gonna be great. And of course, we got out of Ghana, Goldman, an ambassador, a pastor, a multi-award winning singer and songwriter, Afrobeat. Yes, he's gonna.
Class, can I ask the classroom, can somebody tag Dave? Classroom, somebody tag Dave, and I'm gonna send one of the students the link. And I want that student to send the link to Dave because I'm trying to get him on the WhatsApp. He said there's no link, but I sent the link that I sent to Kenneth, and I sent it on Messenger too. So I'm not sure if he's seeing that. So tag Dave Ray and let me get him in the chat here so we can have this. Oh, he's here. Boom. That's it. That's it. I don't see you in the camera yet, Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave is here. Let me know when you're ready. Give me a nod. I know you can hear me, Uncle. Cousin, friend. You ready? I think the internet's a bit frozen. I'm not sure, but he's here. He's in the classroom. Dave, I can see you in the background. Okay, excellent. Dave, good morning. Welcome to the platform. How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Okay, he's setting up. So I'm going to put a little, he can mute himself and let me know when you're ready. Are you good? Dave, you can hear? Okay, perfect. So let's continue. Kenneth, he's going to let me know when he's ready. I'll take you off the screen, but you're right in the platform. Okay. So Dave is here. He's going to let us know when he's ready and we'll continue our conversation. So Kenneth, I want to go back to this question because what I did, I want to get Dave's opinion and his own comments with regards to the bill, with regards to the CIP. And then I want us to move to the Third World Immigration Moratorium Act because I went through the document, I did a bit of research on it, and I want us to discuss that because I don't think that in the government of Antigua and Barbuda, if we're being very real and factual, that the government in Antigua and Barbuda can pass a bill in Parliament without putting the details or any kind of details in there. And this document basically does not give any detail for the countries to respond to or to even ask for some clarifications. And also in this document, Antigua and Barbuda was listed as two separate countries. So it shows to some extent, not to some extent, but it definitely shows the inaccuracy. And a lot of people know that Antigua and Barbuda is Antigua and Barbuda, one nation, one state, one prime minister. Yeah. So 1 second here. Dave, are you ready? He's still setting up. You ready? You gotta give me a nod. Give me a nod. That's it. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to the platform, everybody. Dave, Ray, good morning. How are you doing? Dave, what's going on with you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I was trying to say you needed to have an upgrade. I had an upgrade on a phone or some internet, whichever one it is. Good morning. How you doing?
My Bluetooth was on in my other room, so I had to turn it off.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
Good morning, and thank you for accepting my invitation. And Kenneth Rijak is here. And only after we spoke, I know that Kenneth
Well,
Rijak.
you gave me the information that it was on the WhatsApp. It wasn't on the WhatsApp, so that's why I couldn't log on.
No, it's there. And then I sent a message after. It's there. A couple of numbers.
No, it's on Messenger, not on WhatsApp at all.
Oh, my apologies.
You said WhatsApp, so I kept looking for WhatsApp. Nothing was there.
Dave, you know Nikki's the kind of way we watch screenshot and show that I send you, but that will take up time for us to chat. So you know we're gonna move on.
You check it when you finish.
I will, for sure. So welcome to the platform. Kenneth Rijak is here, and I was saying when I spoke with you yesterday to invite you on our discussion this morning, I didn't know that Kenneth wrote an article about you. So I would love for you gentlemen to have that opportunity to give a response and clarify any questions. That's how media and conversation goes. But I invited you this morning because we're having this discussion regarding this proposed bill that is going to potentially, once passed, ban Antiguans and Barbudans from entering the United States unless specified concerns or exemptions. I went through the bill also, and I saw that there were a number of areas, well, all the countries that were listed, there were not any specific data. I know that they're saying CIP for Antigua Barbuda, but it would just say country, country, country. It didn't give details on any data pointing to, the corruption, pointing to terrorism, any of these things. So I want to give you an opportunity to give a good morning and a welcome to the platform, and to Kenneth himself, welcome to the discussion, and then you give your points, and I'll have some questions for you, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, good morning to your audience. And I'm always happy to be here. Anytime there's an opportunity to contribute, I'm willing to do so. I am not speaking necessarily on behalf of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party government, but on behalf of, I guess, an independent thinker. However, everyone knows that I'm a member and supporter of the ABLP. That's without saying. I have um, no fear or favor by saying that, but I'm not necessarily representing them. I first of all, let me start by saying that I have been um, my own boss for upwards of 40 years. Some people know I was a school teacher before, and then I entered the field of the beauty industry. But I did it from a very young age, from 13 years old. I came to America at some point, studied business, have a degree in business. However, I still wanted to have my own business. And so I thought that was the easiest way to navigate that employment space. Um, Moved back to Antigua, opened a business, employ at 21 years old, employing about 6 people for about 4 years, and then remigrated to the United States again. Went back, did another course, did several other courses. Eventually, in 2010, I earned a doctorate in business management from Walden University. Continued running my businesses. I eventually had, during that time, about 6 salons. I'm sorry, three salons, and then in turn, I added another six, and they were franchised out. I am now semi-retired from the beauty industry. I still own salons, but I don't work in them. I have been doing beauty consulting for quite some time. I've worked during that time as an independent consultant for L'Oreal USA for 17 years as regional director of education. Um, there's so many things I've done. Head of several organizations in terms of being head of judges for all black competitions in the United States. As you see, I'm featured on several documentaries, and so on and so forth. I just earned another uh, honoris causa, as they call it, an honorary doctorate, just about a month and some ago, I think June 6th.
Congratulations.
And
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. Um, but the accolades don't really mean much to me. I have contributed a lot to this industry, to business, customer service, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the reasons why I'm mentioning all this, and then let me just say, I'm sure you remember last year sometime I was very ill. 2 years ago, roughly, I was in the hospital and I got a call from the minister, Chet Green. He kept calling me on WhatsApp, and I was hospitalized, so I didn't really answer the phone because I didn't feel in the mood. And one of my friends recommended that I return the call. So I called back, and he said, "I'm calling you to let you know that you've been appointed as a diaspora liaison. I did tried this some years ago and whatever." And I was like, "What is this all about?" And he said,
Sorry, been appointed. What exactly did he
"As a
say?
diaspora liaison official
Okay.
for the U.S. by the
Okay.
cabinet." And I'm like, "Okay, what is?" Anyway, the point is, fast forward, he said it was unanimous by the cabinet. They think you should be the person. Da, 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 da. So I am not full time in the office. I go to the office when I feel like going. The office is run by obviously the official plenipotentiary ambassador, which is Dr. Aubrey Webson. But I work under the consulate. I can work from home. However, I go into the office when I feel like. So I'm not full time. I'm still allowed to do my own, private business. So it's not a full-time job. To me, it's more of a contractual work for the next 3 years. And based on how things go, they'll decide if they will renew it or not. So far, I haven't been having any issues.
So
It's been
your
quite,
your ambassadorship, just to correct and for my notes, your ambassadorship is for the next 3 years.
yes.
Okay.
So I'm not a diplomat because that would require, if
Okay.
I were a diplomat, I'd have to give up all of the other things I'm doing.
Mhm.
I'd have to be on the State Department, and I'm not. So I am an ambassador without diplomatic handle, if you want to
Do
call it.
you have a diplomatic passport?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have more of an official passport more than a diplomatic passport. Let's put it that way.
What's the difference?
Okay. There's a difference. One is contracted by the government. The other one is I don't know the other one is, but the other there's a red and a green one. I'm sure you know they're both two different colors.
You have the red
The
one.
black one is the standard one. No, I have the green one.
So there's a red, there's a green, and there's a black.
Yes.
I think mine is green. So what's the
No,
black?
yours is black.
Mine is black.
Yeah, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
So what's the green? Who has a green one? What's the green? The green is diplomatic or the red one?
Green is official,
The green is official and the red one is.
diplomatic.
So we have 3 passports in Antigua, like 3 types of
Yes.
passports.
Hmm.
This is new to me.
Well, we
I
learn
just
every
thought
day.
that no, we can't learn every day. When I'm an investigative journalist in news, I know that we have, like, I thought was regular passport and then a diplomatic passport. So there's a regular
No.
passport, official passport, and a diplomatic passport.
So the official is for people who work for the government,
Mm-hmm.
work on behalf of the government. If you're a government employee, for example, if you are let's say you are a permanent secretary or something, that's what you'd have.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So diplomat is more negotiating on behalf of the government and that kind of thing,
Okay.
right? So the governor would have the diplomatic passport. Burning Flames was just given a diplomatic passport because they are
Yes.
now, they're official,
Okay.
ambassadors for the country in terms of
You see,
national
this is why
status.
this space is here, Dave. This
You
is how we
have Viv
educate the people.
Richards would have a diplomatic passport and that kind of thing. Yes.
Okay. I have our guest Kenneth here, and I know Kenneth has been sitting and listening. I know his time is far spent, but Kenneth, I don't want you to run. I want you to jump in and talk about Dave. I didn't wait for you to finish. Sorry. I should let
No,
you
it's
finish.
okay.
But I know that Kenneth.
I did all that. I did all that mainly
Yes.
because Mr. Rijak has chosen to write an article on me.
No, he writes
on
about
my-
everybody.
No,
He's a journalist.
first of all, I don't know why I'm the center of his contention, because I'm not running for anything. I'm an Antiguan, and I have a right to be contracted by my government to do whatever they choose, and whether it were the UPP, the DNA, or the ABLP that asked me to do work, I am willing to do work for my country. As a matter of fact, during the tenure of the UPP, I worked as a consultant for tourism under the Reed Whitlock for 10 years. And I've always been, and I did it on a patriotic basis, not on a political basis. Because if I live in America or I live abroad and there needs to be work done, and I feel that, and they feel that I can contribute, I will do so. As you know, as I said to you earlier, I worked for L'Oreal for many years as an educator, traveled the country, not only this country, but traveled to parts of Europe, Paris, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Holland, Brazil, South Africa, etc. And every time I do my presentations, which may be 60 or 90 minutes presentation to people in the cosmetology world, I always use 5 minutes of that discourse to present a mini video about my country, Antigua. And the reason why I used to do that is because people used to confuse my accent for being Jamaican. And I figured instead of having all the long conversation, I said, I'm going to give you a spiel about this beautiful little island called Antigua. Now, I'll tell you even further, I did it freely because it's about my country. Sandals has let me know that if I wanted 2-3 nights there for free, I could, because many people have come to that hotel saying I was recommended by this gentleman called Dave Ray. Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
Jolly Beach used to do the same thing. I used to get calls from these people. You are. When I went one time for a day pass at Jolly Beach, they said, "Oh no, you won't be charged." I'm like, "Why?" It's because your name is in our books as being a person recommend this this country or this beach or this resort. Now I'm saying all that to say that once I step out, anywhere I go, I was a guest speaker in Rome last year. I was a guest speaker in Barcelona this year, and I always start by saying about this beautiful island Antigua and all that wonderful stuff, because that's my job to sell my country whilst I live abroad. So if my country, whichever government, and I'm telling you, I can tell you this personally, Mr.
I,
Harlow
want
has
to I
told
want to
me many
ask you
times.
I want to ask you a
Hold on,
question.
one second. Mr. Harlow has told me many times, if we were in government, I want to use you. He has told me so, and I can say publicly, he has told me
Who
so.
said that? Who said that?
Mr. Harold Lovell has told me that
Okay.
many years ago,
Okay.
right? So the point I'm making is, I am willing to work for my country, not for party. My party support is different to my support of my country, and I'm willing to support my country anywhere I go.
I want to ask a question, Dave, because I got to give some respect to Mr. Rijak. And you said a lot of things at the beginning that Nikki got to do, Nikki, always to ask a question. And we talk about a diplomatic passport, and you hold that passport. But and regular Antiguans and Barbudans, even babies who've never born as yet, who hasn't come into this world as yet, will not have the opportunity to some extent to be able to go to the United States or experience any of the things that you mentioned just now as also a representative of whether the party or the country or yourself and your business. So I want to give Kenneth an opportunity to come in, but I want to ask this question where I can ask you to say it in 2 minutes and then still say it throughout our discussion. Is what, in your opinion, you, Dave Ray, as an Antiguan, born, bred, lived, drinking very good, because you should check that. Real facts. What does the ordinary born citizen of Antigua and Barbuda receive in return for carrying the international reputational risk of a commercially operated citizenship by investment program? Because we're carrying it, and the government is holding on to it. This is how we've been making our money. We're holding on to this program, and if we don't lose this program, what do we have? So what is the risk? Like, what does the ordinary born Antiguan receive in return for carrying this risk, in your opinion, as an Antiguan?
But I'm not understanding the word risk of carrying a passport. I'm not fully getting what your point is.
No, the risk of us holding on to, or the government itself, and those who
Oh,
benefit from the CIP, those who benefit from having a diplomatic passport, official and diplomat. What are the risks for the regular Antiguan to have?
well,
What is the risk for the ordinary Antiguan and Barbudan, who would be more than 90,000 people? Because if we're 100,000, we don't have 10,000 diplomats.
so you mean it? So you're speaking to what's the risk of having a CIU or CIP unit?
Yes, holding
Okay,
on to that for
so
the ordinary
the point
citizen.
is, a sovereign country should not be dictated by anyone as to how they should run a program. Now, America has programs. Italy has. They all have programs of similar nature. One of the things that I find strange is that if you acquire a passport being non-Antiguan, right? Your passport states which country you're from. Every passport states that. So it always gives your country of origin. So it doesn't have Nikki Phoenix, Antigua. It says Nikki Phoenix, Guyana, and then it
Yes,
says a citizen of
Antiguan.
Antigua.
Mm-hmm.
So if you receive a passport from Antigua, which you're not buying a passport, as I hear people say, you're part of a program which entitles you as a citizen to get a passport. You have to invest money in the land, whether in the university, whether in business, and so forth. There are 4 different pillars that I know, because I actually went to the CIP to learn about them some years ago. And I was schooled about how the CIU unit works. Once you get this passport, you must apply for a visa. You don't get a passport automatically travel to the United States. You must go to Barbados, spend money, go to Barbados to apply for a visa. It is at the discretion of the agent in the Barbados embassy for the US to grant you a visa. Now, if that agent sees that you are from a country that they don't like, they can turn you down, just like they turn Antiguans down. So I don't understand where this whole thing about you becoming a CIP citizen, acquiring a passport, and then you're entitled to go to America. It just
I
makes
wanted to answer. I wanted to answer, but I gotta give some respect to
yeah.
Kenneth
So I'm
himself
saying is,
because Kenneth. One
what is the
second, Dave,
difference?
Dave. 1 second,
Even
one
it,
second. I'll give you a minute. I'll give him because one of the things that's gonna happen. I know that Kenneth has to run, and I know that you and I can continue the discussion. But
but I
we
thought you had him on for 20 minutes before I joined, so that's why I thought he spoke
oh
already.
here how you managing my time in this space. So you come in the
No, but
classroom
you,
to
I
manage the teacher
didn't
time.
find the link.
Where's your
So yeah,
seat?
but go ahead.
Stay right here. Kenneth, can you jump in? And I want you to package it, your questions, just have the conversation. Let's talk about this because I want to come from this perspective of future Antigans when I mentioned those who haven't even been formed in the womb as yet. So that's where that conversation was coming from with those who are benefiting now in comparison to those who haven't even, So Kenneth, can you jump in, please?
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Well, first of all, let me just respond to Dr. Ray's issue with my article. I want him to understand that he
You
is
could just
being
say Dave. Dave is fine.
Dave. Thank
Use
you, Dave.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave. It's the Antiguan media which refers to you as the ambassador for the diaspora, and that's the reason why you are listed in my article. So if you are not a diplomat, my apologies.
Are you a diplomat? Just to
I
clarify for
just
Dave.
said I'm an ambassador without having diplomatic status.
Okay, so that's clarified
Okay.
there, Kenneth.
However, that being said, the use of an official passport is very much akin to that of a diplomatic passport. If I was to show up at an airport anywhere in the world with an official passport, which of course is separate and distinct from that which everybody else has, you get to go through the VIP area in most countries and you get to avoid diplomatic issues. In other words, you don't have to go through customs, you don't have to go through immigration. So an official passport in many cases can function as the equivalent of a diplomatic passport. But that's not why we're here
That's
today.
true. That is
We're
actually not true.
yeah.
Dave
Just to
is
let
saying
you know,
it's
that's not
not.
true.
Well, but here
That's not
today,
true.
but you have a
Diplomatic
passport.
passports and official
One
passport, you
second,
don't go through
Dave.
the same
You gotta
procedure.
give him. You gotta give him a
Okay,
chance.
but I understand we can differ on that.
Yes.
However,
Okay.
but the issue, of course, here that we came to talk about today was the issue about how does the fact that there's a CIP program adversely affect an ordinary Antiguan in the street? And that, of course, is because today an Antiguan since December 15th cannot easily get a visa to go to the United States. And now we have a new proposed law in America which says that 39 countries, including Antigua, will be, if the law is passed, forever barred from entering the United States, except under very unusual and limited circumstances. So, my response to that is that Antiguans are now about to be adversely affected in ways that they never could have dreamed about when they agreed to allow the CIP program to continue. Remember also that the CIP program, which is a cash cow for not just Antigua, but 4 other countries in the Eastern Caribbean, has basically taken the place of normal economic development and has become a means by which Antiguan, Dominican, and other governments are paying their staff and their budgets in lieu of actually developing their country, as most countries generally do. So that's our problem. The problem is that you go fast forward to 2028, where the European Union says, if you want visa-free privileges, get rid of CIP. If CIP disappears, who is going to pay all the government budget for all of these expenses that the Antiguan government ordinarily now relies on CIP for? And that's the conundrum.
I know you want to respond, Dave. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So first things he said, a diplomatic passport and official passport gets you in the door, get you in a different. That's not true. A diplomatic passport, you go through a whole different border uh, embarkation process. than someone with an official passport. And as a matter of fact, you should not be using your passport if you're not going on diplomatic business. So if you have a official passport, you should also have a regular passport. If you have a diplomatic passport, you should also, unless you're doing diplomatic business, you should not be using that passport. That's the rule. Okay. And it's very clear in the rules. You only use it when you're going on diplomatic or official business. But you don't go, you go through, when you have an official passport, you go through the regular line as everyone else. Matter of fact, the diplomatic passport, to me, you don't cut the line. You're going through an office, you have to go wait for a long time. It's not an easy process as going through the regular line. So that is not fully true. Just to let you know. Um, and where he gets his facts, I don't know. But I don't know if he owns a passport and knows this, or he's just getting it from some sort of anecdotal or discussions from other people. I'm hearing that, first of all, there's not a law that Antigua doesn't will not be allowed visa status. That is a proclamation made by the administration. It's not. There's no law being made
Well,
yet.
what are
That,
you referring to? There's two things because there's a proclamation that went into effect from January 1st, 2026, and there's a proposed bill. This bill, in one
the proposed bill by
sentence,
Nancy Mace will not
yes.
pass the House because she does not have the support. First of all, the bill that
Well,
she's
Dave,
proposing. Hold
Dave,
on.
before
Bi-
before we get to that bridge, let's talk about where we're heading and whose car we're in. We're certainly not in our vehicle because, in one word, that bill that she's proposing, whether it goes through or not, it is saying if you are a national of one of these countries, you cannot enter the United States. That's it. If you're a national of one of these countries, Antigua and Barbuda is one of those countries.
and that was a proposal brought by whom? Brought by the Trump administration.
And
A lot of things that the Trump administration said, the judges would toss them out, right?
are we?
Hold on, unless it doesn't go through the House and the Senate and passed, it is not law. So any administration coming can all reverse that particular proclamation or that whatever that is, right? When this issue started first, the State Department did not even know about it. I'm sure you heard that before. They're like, we
No, I
don't
heard
know
that
this.
from Sir Ron Saunders. I heard him
Yes,
report that.
State
So
Department did not know about it. So it came as an executive order, right? They have that power to create any executive orders they want until they're being challenged. I am of the view that hopefully after November, when they become a lame duck government, if the both houses change, a lot of these things will go dormant. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get visa-free access tomorrow morning, but the point is, I think we'll get back to that. So I'm not worried about it. I really am not. And I've spoken to
Dave,
officials here, people who are in government here. I'm talking about elected people in this area who says that that stuff is not going to stand. All right, let him have his power now because in 2 years he'll be out. He will be out of office. Yes, he might be another Republican. We don't
can
know.
it
Because we
can
can't
I
I,
just like
determine
I,
who.
I
okay?
would I would object to Dave's
I know.
characterization.
I expect you would. I expect you would. But the
No,
point is,
Dave,
I'm
let him
saying
let
this is
him.
my view,
Mhm.
Yes,
right?
I understand.
I didn't expect you to agree with me because if you did, then we would have snow today. That I know for sure. Because what I find interesting, and I hate to come at this angle. What is your, I don't know if I should say purpose, or what
Agenda
is your target that you want to
or
be
agenda? You want to use
the
the word
agenda
agenda?
for
Uh,
dictating about our country? I don't understand why. I don't understand
it's
why you're
very
making it
simple.
so.
It's very simple, Dave.
Go ahead.
I've been in and out of the Caribbean for the same 50 years that you have been. And I have been a visitor in your country, as well as I have worked in more than 100 countries as a financial crime consultant. And I know that the use of the CIP has not only poisoned Antigua's politics because of greed and avarice, but it's also poisoned the entire region. And so long as the CIP or CBI, whatever you want to call it in the region, exists, there is an infinite and an obscene amount of money laundering because they're US dollars in our banks, which expose our banks and our bankers to all sorts of 20-year money laundering felonies. So my agenda is to shut down money laundering in the Eastern Caribbean as best as I can in my lifespan. And the CIP is unfortunately a facilitator of such a thing because the CIP, unfortunately, uh, corrupts and it corrupts infinitely. But back to the real issue here. And the real issue here is that back in December 15th of last year, our president, for better or for worse, said no more Antigua and Barbuda, no more Dominica for the year of 2026 because of national security threats. Now, you're right, you're entitled to your opinion to say, well, when the Congress changes or when the government changes, that may disappear. That's true. But there's been no legal challenge to uh, our president's pronouncement that CIP is the reason for no more visas for the time being. Now, you're right. A Democratic government can rescind that. Congress might overrule it, and there might even be a court case. However, nobody has filed one at this point, so I think we're stuck with it for the foreseeable future. But the problem is this: that we don't know what happens in politics. Right now, the fair haired boy, the darling of the Republicans, Marco Rubio, who is not only a Cuban American senator, but who's also virulently against leftist politics, is headed for the nomination in 2028 as President of the United States to replace Donald Trump. And I can tell you that his politics are far more to the right than Trump's. And as such, you can expect that Antiguans are going to continue to have this problem if he be elected. So I think you have to understand that not just for the short term, but for the foreseeable future, I think Antiguans are going to have a hell of a time getting into anywhere, especially since your government, the ABLP led government, insists on keeping CIP and thumbing their nose at the EU, which has already said CIP doesn't work for us. And if you're going to have it, you're not going to get visa free entry. Remember, the one item that people buy Antiguan passports for is EU visa free entry. And if that's gone, why does somebody want to buy one if they're from Iran, Russia, Syria, or somewhere? So that's a real problem. But the Antiguan man in the street, Dave, is going to be taking it on the chin because he's not going to be able to visit his sister in New York, send his son to college in Los Angeles, or do business in Washington. That's a problem.
You want to respond, Dave?
Let me just say, Marco Rubio, as much as you say, he's a Cuban American, and I'm telling you, he's only carrying out the policies of Trump and the Stephen Miller group. Marco Rubio does not have that particular stance if he were to be president, and I don't believe he will be. But anyway, I can tell you, he's only just following his leader, but he himself does not believe all that stuff. And I'm telling you that for a fact, and that's something that's been discussed. If you listen to most of the talk shows, I don't have to talk about people I speak to personally. They know that he would not have the same policies if he were in there. And I hear you say he's more to the right. That's not really true. That's what you have said. The other thing is, no one has brought a challenge because the administration has not said that it is the CIP that causes them to want this issue. They have not said it in clear terms. There's nobody else said it's actually that reason, right? So no one has brought any challenge. And the other thing is too, there are not very many people going to jump at the gun outside of the country, right? In this country, we have programs like that. And I always want to say to you that CIP is also being acquired by American-born citizens. There are people from America who buy into the CIP program because they want to have their property in the islands, they want to be a part of whatever is happening, they want to have their home there, and so forth. So I just want to let you know, it's not only people from the Middle East or parts of Asia that have CIP, that have bought into the CIP program. People who are born in America and Canada are also part of the percentile that own that are part of the CIP program. So it's not just for that reason, just to let you know that. As a matter of fact, I have the reason why I had to, I think I told you earlier that I went to learn about the CIP from the unit. The reason is one of my attorneys here, female, she works for Fragamen. I don't know if you heard of Fragamen. I'm sure you must know about Fragamen, which is the largest immigration law firm in the United States, well, across the world, I should say. She has been made partner, and they moved to San Francisco to be to run their office in San Francisco. She became partner about 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years ago, but she's been working for them for over 20-something years. Black woman, born in America, Sophia Goring Piard. You can look her up, and she reached out to me saying she has people who just got green cards in the United States. Her job, she works with major companies to provide status. She doesn't do individual immigration programs. She only works for legally for, like, Amazon, or one of these big companies that are bringing people into the United States. And the people who have got legal status to live in America want to be a part of this CIP program, and asked if she knows anything about it, which is why she reached out to me, knowing I'm Antigua, and said, "Dave, what about this CIP program you guys have in Antigua? Because some of my clients who have helped to get status in America want CIP status." And she knew that I'm from Antigua, so she reached out to me. And so I looked into it to see if I could have been one of the agents or so forth, and what the process would be like, so there are people who have come from Asia, who are here legally in America, who also want to have this CIP status. So it's not, it's making it seem like we get all these villains, or all these, despots who want to be CIP agents. Some people happen to be from countries that the US don't really care for, but they're wealthy people, and they would like to be able to travel the world. They're businessmen, they're businesswomen, they're entrepreneurs who want to travel the world. I have a close friend from
So
Sudan
Dave,
who's in
I
the
see
beauty
that.
industry.
1 second, sorry, I gotta jump in because I see Kenneth looking at his time, and I know he's a man with regards to his time. And I
Okay, go
want to
ahead.
ask you
Go
both.
ahead.
I want to ask you both two more questions. But Dave, in honesty, as Nikki is Nikki, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what you're saying. And as an Antiguan by naturalization and having an Antiguan passport, spending over 20 years in Antigua and dedicating my time, being
Oh,
in
you're
the
Antiguan. You're
waters,
Antiguan, by the way. I know that for a fact. I'm not worried about
all
that
the way
part.
in the bones. It's all
Yeah.
deep in the bones. But the concern is, what about those Antiguan and Barbudan children who's not even in Antigua as yet, born in the land of Antigua and Barbuda, and their future, potential, opportunities. We are looking at a situation where that door potentially can be closed completely, like forever. You're completely banned. And Antigua and Barbuda is having that image in the eyes of Senator Mace, and in the eyes of Trump and Marco Rubio, as like we're Haiti, or they're basically putting us up like Haiti, because Dominica, Antigua, and Haiti. Now, if we look at Haiti, we see all the crime in Haiti. We see exactly what's going on in Haiti year after year, for all these years. This is not happening in Antigua and Barbuda. So I want to ask you, how do you really feel about this? Put aside having the benefits of this passport, having the benefits of the involvement of the government. I mean, you do have grandchildren, and I want you to think about that from the outside. How do you feel, or what do you think the government really should do at this point to change the course? Because the negotiations with Ron Sanders and the Prime Minister has not gotten us anywhere, Dave. On the 6th of June, or in the month of June last year, the Prime Minister said that we would never get a ban, or I think it said it would not, the proclamation was mentioned, and he said that we are skillful negotiate. Should I play it? We are skillful, and that would never happen. And we're now sitting here, Kenneth and I and yourself, having a discussion on the 20th of July, 2026, of a bill that's about to be passed, that you carry an Antigua and Barbuda passport lock you out of the door from entering.
Yeah. You made a statement that your last statement is that a bill is about to be passed. That's not even close to being true. It's a bill that's going to be brought to the House, not to be passed. We don't know about being
Okay,
passed. That's not.
brought to the
No,
House. Thank you
no.
for correcting me.
Please don't say it's going to be passed, because you don't know that,
All right,
right?
brought to
The
the
Prime
House.
Minister has appointed Ron Sanders, who has been working feverishly with because he is the ambassador for the U.S. He's not for the UN, so he negotiates on our behalf, and they're still in talks. The funny thing is, I'm learning is that we're making these assumptions that engagements agreements. There are no agreements yet on anything. They're still negotiating. People who are not born yet, according to you, who have not yet had a chance to discover the world, we don't know what the future holds. And I'm optimistic that we will have that access again. However, the world is becoming a smaller place where now we can get education opportunities from not only America, from other parts of the world, even Asia, who are welcoming us with open arms. And the world's becoming a smaller place. And if you notice, in some of the conversations we have, people are like, why are we making America like the only place to go to, or the only go to?
That's an
That's what
ignorant position to
it's not
take.
taken
So we're
into
not even
discussion.
going to even
Now,
add that
there
to
are
the
people who I
discussion.
know who have done extremely well in anything and said to me, I've never really been to the States. I don't care about going to the States. Yes, they may do trade in terms of ordering stuff from America, but they're doing quite well. They say, when I get vacation, I go to Australia, I go to there, but that's what you've been hearing some people say. I have one particular friend who just never interested in getting a visa, never want to come here. I don't know why. He does so well. He said, America's never. He said he came here when he was a kid, and when he was younger, it's not a place for him. And I said, "Well, were you deported at some point?" He said, "What are you talking about?"
Dave,
And jokingly. But I'm just saying that the world is becoming a smaller place. I do believe that all this will play out. I think everything is for a season. For whatever vicious reason that the Trump administration, I don't believe it's only the CIP issue, because when the CIP came into being, and the US had to vet a lot of our policies when we had the program before Trump became in office, and they were pleased with the policy. We had moved it from 5 days to 30 days. We moved from 30 days to 5 days. They weren't happy with 5 days. They said, move it back to 30. Move back to 30. We were in compliance. And so for people to say that, as a matter of fact, at one point, we were the only in the CIP unit that had the 30-day requirement. Some people didn't have any. So whatever the reasons are, I don't know, because I don't work in that department, and I'm not going to assume that things will not work out. I'm not going to say what happens in Washington in discussions, because I don't know. That would be a little bit
Dave,
presumptuous.
I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, I'm seeing the comments. You live in the
My
United
aunts,
States,
my
Dave.
my aunt and uncle came to America
Dave,
about 3-4 weeks. They're back in Antigua now. They
you don't
came
live
for a
in
couple of.
Antigua.
Hold on,
Dave,
hold on,
Dave.
hold on. My aunt and uncle came to America on vacation, and she said when she got here, the immigration officer said, she said, we're here for you. She said, I'm going to give you 45 days, right? Now, she said, and this is what the officer said to her, if you meet somebody else, they may give you 29 days or 30 days, but I'm giving you 45. Now,
Dave, we used to get 6 months. What are you
listen to me, listen to me. When you go into Europe, when you go to Paris, they don't give you 6 months. They give you the time that you're going to be there for. So it's a policy in Europe. When I go to Europe from here, I go to France. They ask you how long you're going to stay. And they give you a time stamp for the time you're going to be there.
Dave, I
So
think
it's
I want to
nothing
be
new.
respectful. I want to be respectful to
Go
Kenneth
ahead.
because I want Kenneth to jump in, but I want to be respectful to myself and I want to be respectful to this space and the work that we do and be fair. You do not live in Antigua, Barbuda. You live in the
I don't.
United
I
States. So
travel there
let's
quite a
let's
lot. I was
let,
there
let's
5 times for this year
let's go
already.
back. You hear that? That's 5 plane tickets, Dave. That's 5 thousands of dollars, Dave. That is
That's my
not
money, my private
exactly.
money.
Yeah. It's your money. So talk about the life that you're living in the access. You've worked for it and you've attained it. We're still trying to have this discussion about individuals who are living under the means, individuals who wants to travel to Antigua right now, those who want to leave to go and study, those who want to open businesses, those who want to, move their life from where it is presently, whether the next 5 years or 10 years. So this conversation is a serious conversation. And I feel like the government of Antigua and Barbuda is not having the conversation to the level that they need to have it at, because we've been hearing for months that Ron Sanders is negotiating. Negotiating what, Dave? Because
But
he's negotiating. One second.
the government
Wait.
does
Let,
not.
let, let
The
Nikki
government should
talk.
not. The
One
government should
second.
not be
Dave.
negotiating publicly. The government should be
Dave.
negotiating in private
Private.
meetings.
Okay, good. All right.
So,
In
so,
private.
so the fact that you think that they're not saying anything to you, that doesn't
No.
mean that they're not negotiating.
Evidence.
That's not how
Evidence.
negotiations work.
I hear that.
Negotiations is not made by noise and public display.
All right.
Negotiation made
But
behind closed doors when people come and work on behalf of,
so
of
which one is
countries.
he doing? Which one is he doing? Because some evidence
Who?
need to show that he's doing something. Ron
No,
Sanders.
no, he doesn't show you the evidence. He has to report to the government.
In 5 minutes, and then I can take the dog. Is she
He's gonna
ready?
have to run in a minute. Wait, I'll just 1 second. Sorry, Kenneth. I know Kenneth on his
That's
time.
okay. I just want
Yeah.
to, before I leave, I
I
understand.
want you to jump in because Kenneth, there's a number of things here that I want us to
Well, the
Yeah,
point is, what about the
they
10
have
or
bilateral
15?
agreements that are discussions that are happening, not public discussions.
Oh, I'll
And
come
so
back to that. I'll come back
yeah,
to
so
that.
we have to allow the bilateral discussions to continue. We
Yes.
have placed the government and ambassador in place. We cannot think that because we don't know or hear everything that's happening
I'm gonna come
day
back
by
to that.
day.
I'll come back to
Yeah,
that.
and we
Thank
cannot
you.
go by the noises we hear from Washington and know that things are not really happening. Things are happening behind
That's
closed doors.
fine. I'll
It may
come
take
back
a
to that.
minute, but I'm saying I am not. I'm hopeful. That's the point I'm making.
All right, go ahead, Kenneth. I know you
We,
got to
we
run.
heard all these things last year. We heard that
Mhm.
there was never going to be an issue where the visa would be removed, that privilege would be revoked for any reason. And we can, and then all throughout this year, we heard, well, this is only going to happen for 6 months. And on July 1st, it's going to stop. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. You're just going to have to live with it. But we haven't even talked about the fact that it now is going to be a $10,000 to $15,000 U.S. deposit required for Antiguans to come if the immigration officer decides that that's a way in which they won't overstay their visa. So it's a total mess. It's only going to get worse. Whether the law passes or not, right now for 2026, the visa does not exist except under exceptional circumstances, and Antiguans are taking it on the chin, and it's unfortunate. They certainly don't deserve it. And it's one of those things that unfortunately has to go right back to CIP. Remember that when the visa was taken away, the State Department said it's about national security issues and it deals with the issues regarding CIP. So, Dave, you might say that that's not the case, but unfortunately for Antigua and Dominica, it 100% is. And I'm afraid I have to get off. But Dave,
Yes,
let's have
I
this
know you
again.
did say you're gonna make some
Just
time.
before you go, you said it's only going to get worse, and I'm
Yes.
telling you, in your pessimism, that's not where I live. Just want to let you know that. So that's the last thing. In your
Thank you.
pessimism, that's not where I live.
Don't go
Just to let
anywhere,
you know that.
Dave. Hold
I'm
on.
not going to
Okay,
allow
thank
anyone to wish anything bad in my country because I think we have the capacity for things to happen in a positive direction. I'm not
You want
Yes.
to
bothered by
respond to
that.
that,
Yes.
Kenneth?
Well, it will only happen in the absence of the CIP program because outside of that, if the CIP continues and the government decides to continue to push it on Europe and America, I'm afraid bad things might just happen, which will affect the man in the street, not the people in government. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, all right.
One
Thank
and
you.
one thing I will not do is I will not speak on I will not say what the government should or should. I hope that they, in their wisdom, will make the decision that they think is best for the all concerned. That's what I'm saying. So
The
for me
what
to
the
say what they should
proclamation?
and shouldn't do, if they have to adjust it, whatever they have to do, that's up to them.
Okay.
Because when I look at, for example, how they're financing the university, how they're financing now CXC students being paid for, uh, people to go into to school, all these things, the money has to come from somewhere. And so and if they have a program they think that works for them, all these countries, Trump when he came in had a program. Say if you spend
No,
$500,000,
and
you can get
Rajak,
a gold card, a green
one
card,
second, Dave,
right?
1 second, Dave.
Yeah,
And Rajak didn't just leave like that. He was supposed to leave since 8 o'clock, and he held on, and
right.
the wife and the dogs. He didn't just leave just like that. He had to step out.
Yeah, I know. He said I heard him talking about the dog. I just heard him.
Yeah, and the dog
Yeah,
was making a sound earlier. I want us to
he
go
said he
back
has
to.
to walk the dog or something. I know how that goes.
I want to
Thank
go
God I
back.
don't have a dog to
want-
walk. So,
I want to go back to our discussion when you said about the
uh-huh.
negotiations, and I want to talk about the ambassador Ron Sanders because I want to talk about whether the negotiation is happening privately or it's happening within the public. Every single proclamation, law, or document that comes from the United States that says this is going to be implemented, it has been implemented. Ambassador Ron Sanders has not presented to the public of Antigua and Barbuda to get our confidence or my confidence to say that he has steered the direction of any of these discussions or proclamations away from the United States sticking to their decisions. It's like they have step 1, 2, 3, 4, because the proclamation was step 1. that's when it became effective on June 1st. And before that, it was announced by the Washington Post. And Prime Minister Gaston Brown said this. I have it right here, Dave.
The most recent situation here in which the Washington Post said that the United States may take a policy decision to block Antiguans and Barbadians from going to the United States. I can reassure the people of Antigua and Barbuda that will never happen. So those of you who may begin to feel a little shaky and getting a little weak-kneed, trust me, you know, we are too competent, too skillful. And we have the diplomatic skills to make sure that the relationship does not deteriorate to the extent that the United States has to take any such hostile position against our people. So despite the naysayers, when they come with their hopelessness and all their propaganda and they want to make you feel fearful, you need not worry because you're in safe hands.
I want you to talk about that and address that.
I saw that before. I saw that before. Now that it didn't go through the channels that would have been normal. That's why the State Department didn't even know when the proclamation was being made. So if they're under normal circumstances, that would not be the case. That is a policy by Trump administration, and I keep saying that. If the Trump administration changes, I shouldn't say if, when it changes, that stuff is not going to have any weight. I'm telling you. So I hear you and I understand your concern as an Antiguan, but I still think that is because when this discussion started first, the State Department was like, "What are you talking about? We have no clue about that."
That is what Ambassador Ron Sanders said. I don't believe that. Let me.
But it's true. It is true. Sir, ma'am. I've had conversations here with councilmen, senators, in New York, and they said that was never a bill that came to them. So they don't know. That's an executive order. That's what proclamations do. They're executive orders. So
that is going such a proclamation.
A proclamation is an executive order. It's not a law.
I know
So
that.
it's not a law. It's not a law, and it can be rescinded at any point, right? So it can be rescinded at any point. And so
I want us to back up.
Once we have Lindsey Graham passing, once we have Mitch McConnell, who can't really come back to the Senate because he's not well, once we have one or two others who will lose their seat. Now, I'm not wishing death on anybody. That's not what I'm wishing, because I don't wish death. I'm just telling you what's going on now. Lindsey Graham is actually, I've met him and I like the gentleman. I don't like all of his policies. He passed away suddenly. Well, they say suddenly, but that's how life goes. Mitch McConnell is not in a position to come back to the Senate. So you have those two. We need about 3 seats to make the Democrats the majority. However, in any case, there are Republicans who are siding with the Democrats against some of Trump's policies.
Dave,
so even this Nancy Mace thing, matter, she hold on, Nancy Mace. No, Nancy Mace. She's going out because she lost her seat. Dave, by January, she's gone. So she's bringing a bill now. It's not gonna stand. So I'm not worried about that.
What are you talking about?
I said Nancy Mace just brought a bill against 39 countries that she's bringing to Parliament on Wednesday. It's not going to pass.
All right, let Nikki come in. Let me come in for a minute or two, because the perspective that you're coming from is like you playing Russian roulette. You know, we're playing Russian roulette with Antiguan lives, with Antigans and Barbudans.
Antiguan lives. We don't own America, ma'am. We don't own America. We can't tell America what to do. We don't own America. We're a sovereign country. They're a sovereign country. We should not be allowing a country to tell us how we should function. Now, if we're breaking any laws, that's different. We haven't broken the laws. If the people who are despots who have acquired our passports because whatever the reason was hidden, because when these things are done, they're being vetted by America before they get their citizenship.
Just to clarify, one of the students in the classroom said that Mace is in the House of Representatives. So stop talking about the Senate. She's not in the Senate. She's in the House of the Representatives.
But she's losing. Sorry, I'm saying no. I didn't say she was in the Senate. I said she's losing her seat in the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is going to flip. No. So for something to come law in America, it has to go to the House of Representatives and it has to go to the Senate. 2 houses. So what I'm saying is, based on what we know, the House of Representatives is going to flip in November. The Senate, we need 3 more seats, right? 3 more seats. We have Lindsey Graham's sister, who's running in his stead, because he passed, and she's going to be in a special election in August 11th to
So
decide if
you're
she's going to be
saying
the
that
candidate.
Antiguans and Barbadians should base their future on how the election is won and who win their seat? Are we going to look in a crystal ball and see what's going to happen? Because what you're talking
No, no,
right
no,
now,
no. What I'm saying is,
Dave, if you don't let me talk, I'm going
go
to lose my
ahead.
truth because
But
you're
you were
going to
talking before I got on.
I know
So
because I'm supposed to. This is my show. This is our space.
I
And we're
know.
talking
So you should give you a
about
chance to speak.
I've been giving you a lot of chance, but I want to get this part in because this is important. And I feel very passionate about what I'm saying because it's Russian roulette we're playing. The government is playing Russian roulette. You can respond if you want to respond, make a note, but let me talk. The government is playing Russian roulette. It's playing Russian roulette by not giving the information, playing Russian roulette by making decisions behind the scene, playing Russian roulette with all these different negotiations, playing Russian roulette with selling the CIP. Because if we're talking about selling the CIP, we have Chucksy, Meul Chucksy we're talking about. We have so many other examples of this CIP and the concern. Alex Sebab or Alex Sab or whatever his name is.
Stop.
Alex Saab, we're talking about Antigua and Barbuda and the name and the Prime Minister's name and the Prime Minister's son and the Prime Minister's wife having their name in the lawyer's mouth. What's his name again? DeLuca, Martin DeLuca. And Martin DeLuca is now connected, which is a lawyer, connected to the Trump's office. So if you're talking about connection and dependency, if we're going to wait for whoever to win their seat, the people who are already in the position has an ought or concerns or risks that they're concerned about for Antigua and Barbuda, and they're putting on the pressure. They've been putting on the pressure. And what are we doing? We had another election, Dave, and overwhelmingly 15-2. And here we are with the door about to be closed with like some rocks and some seal and everything.
Those are about to be closed. So don't give that narrative. And that's the narrative you want to give because it gives your show some sort of
Dave,
ma'am.
you just said,
Martin DeLuca, you mentioned Martin Luther, the Prime Minister's mouth and so on. All those cases, when they went to the judges, they said has no basis.
oh no,
That's
there's
what they
another
say.
one. There's another case that's still going on.
They have no basis. They have no. You're always saying how all these things are going to happen. They have no legal basis. The judges have said that. Even if they have another case, they have no basis. They have no basis. Listen to me. The cases that you're calling have no basis, and I'm telling you, they're not going to come. They're not going to come in any way against our government. They're not going to come against our government.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Dave, my boat
I'm sorry.
in your waters, and you took up my boat and sell my boat, and then you use the money, whatever the amount of money, however you sell the boat, and nothing happens because what? It's just.
But it happens all over the world, ma'am. That's a policy. Listen. People, I'm not in the boat industry. People have said to me that case is going nowhere because a country has a right to seize a boat that's been abandoned or been left anyway. That's a policy. The boat people who know about boats, ma'am. I don't know. Listen to me. This is hold on to me. Hold on 1 second. This issue about boats, I know nothing about boats. What I'm telling you from all the information I got, the case is going nowhere. The case is going to go nowhere. Yes, it's costly.
Money for that? Who's paying the lawyer fees and all the top lawyers? Who's paying the lawyers? Because the case involves the Prime Minister's wife, a couple of members.
No, but he's working on behalf of the government. He's working on behalf of the government.
The lawyers.
Well, he works on behalf of the government. It has to be the government who paid. It has to be the government.
His son works on behalf of the
even Sherfield Boyen, who came onto your show, said to you that he expects the government to pay for it because of the government process. I heard him say so on your show.
All right, I'm asking you a question. Does the Prime Minister's son work for the government? You answer that.
The Prime Minister's son is not in any problem. That's what. No, ma'am. The Prime Minister's son's name has been mentioned in Martin Luther's mouth, but he's not in any case. The whole case.
Did I pull it up?
Yeah, but he didn't have to defend. But he didn't have to defend himself. He didn't have to defend himself. The case comes as a group. It didn't come as him individually. So
should I give you the most recent document a couple of days before the election?
What I'm saying to you is
1 second.
Listen to me. That case is going nowhere. That's what I'm telling you.
1 second. Let me give you some education because you need the education now. It seemed like if you
no, the thing is y'all want to have this narrative even before the election, you'll have this narrative and see what happened. People still chose how they chose. That's how it works. It's not just what we say. People have common sense. We saw the underestimate people and we want to create we want to create paranoia We want to create paranoia in the universe, and people have common sense, and people listen to the facts. And so whatever the facts are, people make the decision based on that. Yeah, it's also for us to jump and create this, you know, trust me, people are smart. I'm telling you, people are smarter than that. And so I am
Me
not,
just laugh. You know why I'm
I'm
laughing,
telling
Dave?
you, you
Because
know
you're
what,
not really affected.
before, right? Let me
You
tell
don't
you,
have to feel
before
anything
the
about
election, right? I was hearing
Dave.
all of these, oh my
Dave,
gosh, I was hearing
you
all
don't
these
have to
narratives. Forget
feel
that beep
anything.
is going off.
Listen to
And
me.
I was hearing all these narratives, and I'm like, wow. But no, I'm like, you know what? People make the right decisions, so I'm fine. I'm of the view that I have no pessimism about this issue. I think that Ron Sanders is doing his endeavor best to do his
Dave,
negotiation
you're
behind
gonna
closed
wrap
doors.
up.
You
I
may
want
not
to
like
talk to
what
my
you say, and
classmates.
he's
Classmates,
not
don't jump.
necessarily. I know you have the mic, and so you think that your narrative should be the voice of Antigua. It's not. It's
It's
just
not,
people
and I
have to
don't
make
want
the.
it to be. I don't want it
But
to be.
that you're
It's
coming
not.
across, you're saying as an Antiguan, this and that, like you try to
No,
create
listen,
fear.
as an Antiguan,
I
Dave,
think
I
people will
gotta
be
walk with that
fine.
passport. I gotta walk with that
Huh?
passport. I don't have a Guyanese passport. I don't have a Guyanese passport. I have an Antiguan passport. And if I go anywhere with my Antiguan passport and the image on that passport is tarnished, like forever, I will be looked at that way forever. Also, I shall let you know that the man that I'm married to has Antiguan heritage. So, should our son get that passport, what happened? There's no value in that. There's no nothing from the heritage in the country, man. There's
But
nothing
if he gets
from
that
his land.
passport, he will get the
Yes,
passport.
yes, you-
He be getting the passport. He be getting the passport not to travel. He be getting the passport. He can acquire land in Antigua and have property that you left.
what?
All the acres of land you left there. Your son is getting a passport. He can get your land when you pass away. He not using the passport to travel. He using the
Dave,
passport. He can have a tie to Antigua. That's what most people are getting the passport for the
that's not
American
what a
children for.
passport is.
Huh?
But that's not what a passport is. A passport is not a tie to Antigua. Is that what a passport is?
Yeah, it's a tie to Antigua. That's what it is.
Is
A
that what
passport is a
it is?
document to say
That
that you
just
are
what it
legal in the country. A passport is saying that you have legal status in that country. That's what a passport of a country
all right,
says.
Dave.
So
Dave,
if your son gets a passport, and I know he has a British passport, but if
mhm.
he gets a passport for Antigua and Barbuda, he's not using it for travel. He's using it because all the 68 acres of land that you left in Antigua before he went to England, he wants to get it. That's the reason why he has a passport.
All right.
Because if he doesn't have a passport and you left land for him, he can't get unless he's a citizen. You know that, right?
I didn't know that. What about if his
Oh,
parents?
you can. If you are, that's why I keep telling Antiguans to live abroad and have grandparents who have them in their will and so on. Get an Antiguan passport because that's the only ticket to be able to acquire the land there. You can't get it unless you have status. That's the law. I didn't make that
Just
up.
drop some nuggets there. That's a nugget he drop. The other
Yeah.
nugget,
So
Dave, I'm
your
going to say
son should
because
have an Antiguan passport. So I'm repeating again: the land you left in Silver Farm and Freeman Village, he can get it. That's how it
talk all my
works.
business, Dave. I would like to
I
say
don't care.
thank you for
I'm making
coming
up story. I
on.
don't care. You have to say the wrong to get the right.
Dave, the
But
amount
the
of
point
comments
is,
this morning.
Nikki, I love you.
I love you
I
too.
don't love your
On the
political
way.
stance
You
and
know
many
you
things.
do.
I think that you're being a little bit too harsh on
Factual,
our
a
government.
little bit to the point.
I'm just telling you, I have nothing against you personally.
You can't.
I never disliked you.
You can't.
And you know that for a fact.
I know that.
So with all the noises, I am telling you, I'm not saying we're in a good place right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that this too shall pass,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hopeful for the future. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here. I don't know all of the negotiating behind closed doors because I'm not with them. And so when I hear all the speculations of people, so oh, this is what happened. I hear them on the radio this Saturday talking stuff, and I'm saying, do you have that information from where? You're just making assumptions, and
Mm-hmm.
assumptions. You know what assumptions will do. So I try not
Mm-hmm.
to assume.
Yep.
I allow the process to take its course. It's an ongoing process. I am confident in the minister that I serve, which is Chet Green, who's involved with the process. I
But
wouldn't
Minister
expect for
Ted
him to
Green is
be.
not man, Dave. You're gonna make the conversation go on,
Hold on,
Dave. I
hold on.
gotta wrap up.
Chet Green,
Minister
you
Ted
don't
Green is
expect
not
Chet
really
Green to be.
involved in the
Hold on. You
negotiations.
don't expect Chet Green to be the negotiator for this process because it's a process for the country, and so the prime minister, because we're a small nation, the prime minister will have to be the head in
Dave,
charge of this negotiation.
Dave,
Wouldn't be the
Dave,
foreign.
it's foreign
He just
affairs we're
wouldn't be foreign.
talking about. We ain't talking about
Listen to me.
finances. We're not talking about Dave, I'm gonna wrap up the program right now, you know.
You're talking about what?
We're not talking about finances. The Prime Minister is the Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
Chet Green is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is
But
foreign affairs.
the prime minister is also the prime minister. He's also the prime minister. So he's still head of all of the prime means that he's head of all of the ministries.
Yeah, he and
So
Dave, I wanna let me stay nice now. You see, I look nice and ladylike, and I didn't drop no video and say
if
no
you have 5 children and they all have assignments, you're still the head of the house.
But he
That's how
said
it
he's not
works.
involved in the process.
He
Chet
is.
said that. He
Chet
said
Green,
he's not
Chet Green.
involved in the process.
Have you listened to the clip I sent you yesterday? I sent
I
you,
listened to that clip,
and he
he
said
gave
he is.
recommendations. No,
He
when I listened
said
to the
that
clip,
he is kept abreast. Him and the prime minister being kept abreast by Ron Sanders at the
no,
negotiation.
he said
He
he's
gave
being
them.
kept
Hold on.
abreast
He
by
gave
the
5. He gave 5 principles that, in terms of the negotiation, what Antigua will stand for. He gave 5 principles.
You
If it is
got
that video,
updated.
it's 34 minutes and 38 seconds.
I
If it
watched
is that
it.
video, it explains in Parliament the role of the Honorable Chet Green and how the negotiation process is going to happen. Not by all the noise that we're making.
Dave,
We have
yes,
to let the process play out, my love, and that's
all
what
right,
it's going to be.
darling. But my darling, the video that you sent me, darling, it gave a lot of information, darling, pointing to the Prime Minister and Ron Saunders doing the negotiations and then updating him, darling. Have
And
a
what's
good
the problem with
day.
that? What's wrong with what's wrong with
But
that?
he's not involved in the process, Dave. Dave,
If you've been
Dave.
updated, you're involved, ma'am. You
All
don't.
right,
You're
all
involved.
right, Dave.
Yeah.
I want you
Anyway,
to
I
give.
can't be much longer because
I want you to give
I
your
didn't. I didn't know
I
it was
want to
going to
wrap
go
up.
this long, but
I know. I want you to give your
yeah.
let me tell you now. I want you to give your grandchildren a hug for me, and I want to say congratulations again. I didn't read the article. I saw you sent me the link, and I opened it. I want to say continue taking care of yourself, and I want to say it is important for us to really, I know that we're at the place where we're at, and life is better than how it was, but I think it's more forward thinking that we have to do, and I would like to see more of that kind of engaged discussions happening on the platform for individuals who are already out of the dirt, if I can say it like that. You don't have that struggle. You can travel to Antigua 5 times. That kind of way. The mindset is important for that restructuring to some extent, and that's all I'm saying. That's all.
And let me just say here too. I have to tell you that I am not against disagreements or against criticism. I think that our space requires, in a democracy, a healthy democracy, people to
Yes.
oppose. We cannot always have our opinions be the only one in the room. And so
Yeah.
I don't disagree at all with you in being, for example, if something you
Even
think
if
is
you
not
do,
right.
it's okay,
Hold on.
Dave. But Dave, no, no, no.
I just don't hold on, hold
I
on.
gotta go. No, I
I see,
gotta
I
go.
see, I let you speak. I let you do your final. Let me just quick my
Yeah,
final.
you do my
I
fine,
just
Dave.
don't
It's not
like
going
when
like that.
I just don't
Dave,
like when we disrespect, for example, the prime minister's
you
wife by
mentioned that
calling her
already,
names. I
Dave.
don't
I
like that.
gotta run.
I think that's out of
Dave,
place. That's
I
all I'm
gotta
saying.
run. Love you
She's
plenty.
elected a person and she
I
has to
gotta
be
run.
respected.
That's all right. Thank you for
Love
this
you
morning.
forever. We'll
Love,
talk
love,
soon.
all the way. Take care of yourself, man. As
God
always,
bless.
take care.
Bye
Bless you.
bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, that was your Monday sip. If you didn't do your hot coffee and then I say that because the conversation was good, interactive, but I say about the spitting out of the tea because I saw some of the comments. Like, y'all couldn't even had me focusing. Like, I couldn't focus, man. I couldn't focus because I was seeing some of the comments coming in here. No, it's not about that. It's not about controlling the show either. I think that it's good. It's good discussion. We know there's ideas how we see, and it's important for us to respect everybody. But this discussion continues. You're going to have a part 2 on Wednesday, and on Wednesday we are bringing Mr. Eli Fuller on the platform. So Wednesday morning, our Wednesday sip, Eli Fuller is going to be here in our classroom. And we continue this discussion. This week, we got to talk about this. If next week by Monday we need to extend the discussion, we're going to extend it some more. I see some angry emojis on today's live. What's wrong with y'all? Don't you want a hot sip? What is that? So we have Eli Fuller coming on Wednesday, which I look forward to because he want to talk about the beaches in Antigua. He wants to talk about the CIP program too. I did invite him to come on this morning, but it was a bit of short notice. So I'm looking forward to having that discussion, a follow up from today, because I said to him, one of the things I'll send him the discussion that I had today with Dave, Kenneth, and myself, and then we can pick up from there. He can pick out his nuggets, and bring the discussion. It's important for us to have all ideas content, as we say. But this is another topic here where we can take the opportunity to elevate the discussion. And I was happy that Dave is on, and I'm happy that Dave can accept my call. I am happy that he can accept the invitation to come on the phone, because I think sometimes we have to be able to create that space for everybody to say and be, and we still have that. I don't agree with you, but I can. You see, like how Kenneth said it. He said, "I don't agree with you, but we can agree to disagree." And that's where the conversation goes all the time. So, sippers, good morning. Did you send your teacher any coffee this morning? It's a free space. It's an independent space. You guys, the coffee link is there. I'm looking to see some people sending some coffees. Munch is home today. Yeah, Munch is home on vacation. So y'all need to be sending me coffees. Y'all need to be taking care of your nephew. If you want me to be coming in here and doing the work and looking all fine. Teacher looks so fine today. Teacher was like, who's gonna be the hot teacher today? Like, Miss, are you gonna teach me? What's the topic today? Good morning, teacher. Did anybody bring teacher an apple? Actually, I like pineapples, and mangoes. I'm looking on the desk. Nobody brought to school a mango for the teacher. Nobody even brought a rose. Like, no flowers. What? Y'all don't know how to do the teacher nice and sing. If you said the teacher, look. You don't want to come to school until you see a teacher? Huh? Next class is on Wednesday morning, 7 o'clock, same space here, morning sip. If you're watching from YouTube, I need to interact with you more. Good morning from YouTube. Good morning from Facebook. Thank you for the time. Share the live. Tag a few people in the live. We'll share some of these clips between today and tomorrow. And the conversation continues with this topic of trusts. Yeah. Have an exceptional Monday today. Remember, your scripture is Psalms 23. Remember that it's important for you to be better, not bigger, better. Better in your mind, body, and spirit. Better in how you are, who you are, and whose you are, my lovely people. So I say thank you for joining today. I didn't see any stars. My platform is stars aligned, and the coffee and the PayPal, it helps to build the platform. By the end of this week, next week, we're going to do some more stuff and find ways for you to, when you do donate to the space, you actually have something to show for it. You know what I mean? I love you guys so much. Let's offer a word of prayer to close today's program and take you into the week. Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you. Thank you sincerely, God, for who you are. For there is none like you, God, and there's none that can match you. Thank you, God, for another day in the land of the living. Thank you for your favor. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your word, God, because your word is yea and amen. Father God, your word shall never die. Your word shall never die. Your word, God, shall never die. It lives, God. You live today. You're living in our situations. You're alive. You're around us. You dwell within us. You dwell around us. You dwell amongst our families and friends. And we thank you for your presence. We thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for this month of July, God. We thank you for all the months for the rest of this year. We thank you for this year 2026. We thank you for every day of our life and the days and the years and months to come, God. We thank you for an exceptional blessing today. We thank you for that smile that person need. We thank you for that phone call or that email or something to turn it around, God. Turn it around, turn it around, turn it around, turn it around, God. Faith is the absence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So, Father, we ask that you increase our faith as a mustard seed. Beyond anything else, God, let us increase our faith in you. Increase our faith in your word. Increase our faith, oh God, that you are still at work. You're still working. You're still writing the story. You're still writing everything about us. You're still calling everything into divine alignment. So we thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this space. Thank you for the time. Oh God, for the ideas, for the connection, the people, the space, God. May the word go forth. May the conversation, even it might make us uncomfortable, cause us to think, cause us to be better in every aspect of our lives. So we say, let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Amen. Listen, I was laughing at some of the comments. Like I couldn't laugh because the guests would think that I'm laughing, okay? But I was laughing at some of the comments. I am going to check it out because I see that Anna is saying, anyhow, Observer had a great program yesterday with immigration policy holders. Last half hour yesterday, it was well explained. I'm going to follow up on that for sure. And we'll keep the conversation going. I see you guys. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I see you guys all the way up in the comments. It was quite funny, quite engaging, and I like the fact that you're in the classroom. So I want to do the roll call before I leave. If you're here, can you say present teacher Nikki? Just type it quickly. Make sure you have it. If you learned something today, say I learned. Okay? I learned. We come here for education, and every time you leave, you should leave here wiser than you came. So thank you for all the love. Thank you for the space. Share the live. Did I say share the live? Share the live. Thank a few people. Share it in your WhatsApp. This word can only go forth if you share it. You know, I'm here. I bring it. Look, me bringing it. Look. All of that. Give it to everybody for the week. Get them around. Get them. Get it. Okay, I gotta go. Get it. Go. Lock up the Nikki. Nikki, lock up the live. All right, I gotta go. Have an exceptional week, guys. See you on Wednesday. Don't be late for your class. And do your homework. Stay prayed up. Blessings.